Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Okay, uh, so I would like to continue on my revelations, right? So I usually get revelations. These are oniric in nature. Dreams have been the only way I've been able to know God and understand anything about life. Alright, so this is one of the main dreams I received. These have been like the pillars of my life, so to say. So and I would like to share that with you. So I remember, let me give you a little backstory on how it happened. All right, so I remember walking in the dream. I remember walking to a very unfamiliar house, and then I remember opening the door, and then as I opened the door, in fact, the owner of the house, opened the door. Yeah, and then as the door was open, she said to me, God, the structure of all necessity is all there is. Ain't that interesting? God, the structure of all necessity is all there is. So that's that's quite profound, and I found it so deep in explanation of what we call God is, you see. But what does that mean? When we talk about the structure of something, we're talking about the outline of a specific thing, or I would say the structure of what keeps the structure of my body is the skeleton. All right, without the skeleton, I would really be like a gooey, very appealing looking substance. But the skeleton gives structure to the bones, give structure to our body. Without that, it's impossible to even be anything, to even be human. All right, so God being the structure of necessity, whatever is necessary for the existence of what we perceive as reality, that is God. Right, let me repeat that. Whatever is necessary for what we perceive as reality, that is God. And I found that to be quite interesting, quite deep. Right? What do you perceive as necessitous for your reality? Right? That is God. So we really can't get God out of anything. Now, mind and its relation to this God is that mind is what helps us understand our surrounding. Mind helps us to understand what's within and what is without. All right. So without mind, we wouldn't be able to perceive. There wouldn't be any consciousness. Right. Now that is the pivotal moment that we realize that okay, if mind helps me realize, right? Mind helps me understand. Then mind is the all. You get that? Mind is understanding what's without, but the idea is that what is without is the structure of all necessity. So God is really becoming aware of himself, right? We are all children of the light. We are all children of the divine. And to the degree that we understand this profound, we understand this reality, to that degree we move into that structure of sons and daughters of God. All right, but what's happening right now is that people have forgotten their divinity, and because they have forgotten their divinity, they can only live as day comes. They can only live as they understand life to be. They can only live upon impulse. They can only live following impulse and not structure. All right, so that is why there's so much chaos and mayhem in the world, because we have disconnected from what is right. Imagine for a moment if a parent, right? If a parent or a mother or a father or both of them, right, let's say they give birth to children, right? But instead of taking care of those children, they abandon them. In that gap, the children have no way they have no structure of how to live the life they're supposed to live. There is no rules. There is no uh, um, uh, uh, guideline, so to say, right? And whatever impulse they receive, whatever comes in their mind, that's how they will live. That's how it is. Now, in this sense, you might say, "Oh, God has abandoned us," but not necessarily. God has not abandoned us. We have mind. We have everything necessary to follow the divine, and to the degree that we follow the divine, we move in that guidance, because God is here. God is everywhere. But are we aware of it? You see, are we allowing ourselves to be aware of that fact? So once you realize that the structure of all necessity is all around us, once we realize that the structure of all necessity is within, without, to that degree, we will become sons and daughters of the divine. But we must get the mind, in alignment with that reality. When we're not in alignment with that reality, we only live life with impulse upon impulse. We only live life susceptible to what is around us, right? We are susceptible to what is around us, and that's all it will be. But when we live by the divine, according to the divine laws that have been outlined in the many scriptures of the world, we will find that we are living in love towards our neighbor. We will find that we are living in maturity, even as we are supposed to. Spiritual maturity. We're living in spiritual enlightenment. Right? So yeah, this is what I wanted to point out. So I'll be sharing more of these honoric revelations. I find they have transformed my life, and I really want to share them. Thank you so much.